Hey residents of MeepleTown, today we are looking at Maracaibo Digital from Spiralburst Studio. This is the implementation of Maracaibo on the, I'm going to be using an iPad, so the iOS implementation, and I'll just show you some of the gameplay today. I'll show you some of the modes that you have available, and just kind of give you an idea of what I'm looking at here. So first off, you do have the standard mode of gameplay. You can change your difficulty here. You can change the color, add a player, that sort of thing. Now, it does default. Now, this is something that might be a little bit different from some other apps that I've played, but when you're playing against an AI, you are playing against the Automa, not an AI like you might see in some other games. Now, I know Root has both of those, like the AI along with like the Automa deck that you're playing. Now, this one doesn't have that option. You're just playing against the Automa deck if you are playing against the AI. You can add a player to do some. There we go. Put John on there. You can add a player to do pass and play, but you're not going to be playing this online against other players. Now, I know that's going to be, at least from what I'm seeing right now and in my exploration, I haven't been able to see any of that. That doesn't mean that's not going to come in the future, just means it's not something that I'm seeing available right now. I think the biggest plus of playing this in the digital format is going to be playing in the campaign mode. Now, I do have a campaign going on. I've in chapter 4. I've played this game quite a bit now, actually. Put a lot of time into playing this, and I've really enjoyed my plays. But when you're playing in the campaign mode, that's going to go through that story mode. It's going to be adding new cards, new tiles, that sort of thing. If you're familiar with the board game, that will be familiar, that story element that it does add to it. And I think that's a big reason why you might want to pick this up if you play this game and you're interested in soloing the campaign mode. I think this is going to be a really big plus for you. I'll kind of talk about that at the end, but I'm just going to jump into we'll do a standard gameplay. I typically don't always play with red. Now, there are lots of color options here, which is very nice. You can change the difficulty. We'll just throw it on easy. I'm not going to play through an entire game. I just want to kind of show you some of this. Another thing I want to point out, as I typically do for most of these digital videos, I'm not going to have the sound effects or the music on. Sometimes in post, all of that is connected together in one sound file, and it makes it very difficult to hear in certain apps that I record. So I typically turn that off. I actually enjoy the music and the sound effects in this game. I think they're well done. So we'll continue to the setup. You can do it without the story. That's not going to add any of those chapter tiles in there. You can choose your chapter, which I think is cool, choosing your chapter and having those different tiles added in there. Honestly, if you're used to playing this game solo in the board game version, all of that is really nice to have this in the digital implementation, that you can just kind of jump into it and not have to do all the setup yourself. I really enjoy that. So we'll do a basic game without any of those tiles. We'll start this. If you're not familiar with the game, I'll do kind of a basic idea of what's going on in the game, but I'm not really going to full-on explain all of the detailed rules in this game. But basically, you are moving your ship around the board. You're going to be moving it in a circle, stopping off at the different places along the way. You'll stop off at larger cities, stop off at villages, and then take the actions at those spaces. You're going to go around the board 4 times and then add up your points at the end of the game. Whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. There's a lot more to that, but so start off the game, you're going to discard 3 cards, and then you're going to put 1 card into planning, which means that you'll be able to purchase that card later. I'm going to get rid of some of these more expensive ones right off the bat. Now, one thing you do want to be paying attention to as well is the symbol at the top right corner. That is going to be the symbols that you're going to need to be able to sell some of these goods. Let's see. I've got 2 of those innkeepers. I'll get rid of. They're actually exactly the same, I believe. Yep. Except the symbol, the second symbol on the top right corner, which those are going to be used to complete quest. I will discard this one right here. I'm not looking at the board. I'm just going to kind of jump into it. So I'll start off with those cards. And excuse me, I'll start off with 4 of those cards. One of those is going to go into planning. Typically, I usually look at the symbols and see which ones that I'm not really wanting to worry about right now. I know that I want to get this card into play eventually, so I'm going to plan that one. Meaning that I can't now use that card for the resources at the top right-hand corner. I'm going to have to build that card if I want to, or buy that card if I want to be able to use it at all. And then you're going to pick your career card, and those are 3 different things on there that are going to give you boost once you reach those prerequisites. So if you're looking both of those on that top line, if you complete 2 quests, you're going to finish the first part of that. If you complete 3, then you'll get the bonus points along with that. The wealth one also gives you points and money for having the different types of tokens. There's 5 of those. If you have all of them, if you have 2 of them, then you'll get the $3 and a person. And then 3 will give you 3 bonus points. And I'm going to go with the Valor, which this means I'm going to focus on moving and building up my abilities. And I'll show you how that works. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time really thinking through that. All right, now on my turn, I can move up to, you'll see it on here, up to this 9th space on here. Now, what these spots mean, it varies. So that you'll see the A listed on those. Some of them you have 1A, some have 2, and some have 3. That means the farther you go, essentially, the more village actions that you'll be able to take. And those are just basic actions, like you can use an action to get a coin or play a card or a couple other things that are on there. You also can unlock more abilities as you go. There we go. All right. And I don't have anything going on right now. So I'm just going to first off go to a city spot. Now I've got 3 options here. I can go to Santiago, Santo Domingo, and Puerto Plata. And I think I'm going to go see what cards I have first. I didn't actually pay attention to my resources that I have. Okay, I've got some corn. So I think what I'm going to do, I'll close this window right here, and I'm going to go up to Puerto Plata. And I have an option. I can make a delivery. If I have a coin, I can deliver that there. And why you would want to do that, so I'll click on that, deliver card as a good. Why I would want to do that is because these are my ship upgrades. Now, as I am removing these discs, I'll get more and more bonuses that will help me throughout the game. So things like when I'm drawing new cards, I won't have to spend money for the face-up cards. That doesn't make sense if you don't know the game, but I'll explain that once we get there. I can hold 6 cards in my hand instead of 4. I could take more actions, and then down at the bottom, it's going to be a lot of victory points that you're going to be able to get there. Also, being able to take the travel action and some bonus village actions that you can take as well. I think right now, I kind of want to build up some wealth a little bit. So I will, in order to do that, I'll either do that far right one for the 5 coins. That's just straight up 5 coins. Or the one in the top left, which will allow me to take those cards for free. I'm going to just take the $5. I don't get it now. You have to unlock both of those. You have to remove both of those discs and put it on the board. And then I will take the action, which is a travel action, and I can move up to 2 spaces with that travel action. In the first one, I'll get 3 coins. Second one, I'll get 2 victory points. Now, you get benefits along the way as you travel in that along the path. So once you pass that red bar right there, I'll be able to move 3 spaces up on the influence track on one nation. And I'll kind of explain that a little bit more. We won't get a ton of into that piece of it just because it's maybe a little complex if you don't quite understand the nuances of the game. Usually I want to travel that one pretty fast. And if you go back to my career, you see if I travel past that red bar, I can unlock that first, complete that first career goal. But if I get past the second bar, then I'll get the additional 3 points. But I would really like those 3 coins, and so I think I'll just go ahead and do that. Now, at the end of your turn, you're going to draw up. I did spend a card because I delivered a good, and you're always going to have 4 cards in your hand unless you have upgraded. And I think I don't want to spend any of my money, so I'm just going to draw blindly from the top, which is actually probably what I wanted anyway, and that doesn't cost you any money. Now, when Jean, who we're playing, is going to take her turn, or Jean, and they will play the Automa card. Now, I'm not going to, again, go into all those details, but you're going to go look at the top, and that's going to be their movement. That's how far they're going to move. The reason why it has an arrow going the down path or the up path is sometimes these paths split, and that tells you which direction. They will skip over the village spot, so they're only focused on going to those bigger city actions, and then once they do that, then it will show you what they're going to do at those locations. So that in this case, she delivered it good at Santiago, and then that ends their turn. Their turns are very, very fast, which is really nice, but you also kind of need to pay attention to what they're doing. You'll need to pay attention to where they are on the village track because, the influence track, because they'll get bonuses as they go along. Essentially, again, I'm not going to go into a ton of this, but you're going to get bonus points for being in the lead. Whoever's in the lead on each of those tracks will get points. Also, as these cubes are coming off on the bottom section, that's going to determine how many points you're going to get per that nation. So France, Spain, and England, the farther you make it along on those different tracks, the more victory points you're going to get. So for example, if in France I move up along that influence track, let's say I make it all the way to 9, well, I'm going to multiply that 4 times how many points you're going to get that from the points that have been removed from the board. So you can really get a lot of points there depending on how the game is playing out. So far they did just move along that track. So let's see, I'm going to, next up, let's see, I'm there, I'm going to move along. I can't go down to, I'm going to end their turn, sorry. So in their turn, now I can go along to those different village spots. I can also go all the way up to Maracaibo to take a battle action and also deliver something there. And I think I will do that because I do have the good that I need to deliver, which means I'll have to give up my harbor card. And one thing you need to know, these are multi-use cards, and so often you really want the ability that's going to be at the bottom, but you won't be able to use all of those because, again, you're going to have to deliver as goods, and I love that part of this game. This is one of my favorite games, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but I love multi-use cards, and this one does it really well because you really want to be able to use all of those abilities, and you just can't. A lot of them you can. In fact, you're going to have to get rid of them specifically for the resources. So I will deliver that card there. And again, you deliver because you want to be able to put your disc out onto the board, removing ship upgrade spots. And in that case, I was able to get 5 doubloons. I will take this action. Now, this is the battle action. And what happens is you're going to flip a tile over, and that's going to show you the 3 different nations represented in this game, France, Spain, and England. And you want to be able to have a lot of those little sword symbols, because you'll be able to take more action. So in this case, and this varies from tile to tile that you flip over. In this case, I'll be able to get 4 of the England, 4 of these sword icons for England if I go there. But I might not, even though you might think, well, it's the highest, you always want to go there. Not necessarily. Sometimes you're going to want to fight. You're going to want to fight for the nations that give you less attack because you want to be able to move up on those very specific tracks. In this case, I haven't really done anything yet for battling, so I am going to fight for England. And you'll look on here and see that you can take one of those 2 different actions. The top row, the 1 row, says that if I spend 2 of those symbols, I'm going to be able to move up on one of those tracks. If I spend 5 of those symbols, I can move up on 2 tracks. If I take the bottom action, I'll be able to remove one of the cubes and put it out onto the board, potentially giving you a bonus, and I can remove an additional one by getting rid of that 6 by using the 6 symbol. So it can be a great way to get a lot of points. Right now, I don't really have a lot of options. I am going to spend on a sword that I have in my own supply so that I can take both of those actions. You can only take 1 on each row, and so I'm going to take the 4 here, and that's going to allow me to take a cube off of England and put it on one of these spaces. What I really want right now is coins, and so you can see these top ones have to do with coins. I'll put that in the 3 spot since the 4 coin spot is already gone. And then I will go up here and take the, Oh, I miscounted, I think. I did not have exactly. Oh, I know what it was. I was considering using the 5 so that I could move up 2 spaces on England, but I would rather get the coins right now, so I'm just going to be done with that. I'm not going to spend any of my swords. Sorry, I was 1 short. And then I'll draw back up to my hand limit. That governor would be a great card to get. It gives me a disc if I use that one, but also it allows me to, on the victory point income track, there's 2 different income tracks. There's the money income and then the victory point income, and that means I'm going to get those things every round. But I don't necessarily want to spend money to get that, but I kind of do want that. I would like to get somewhat of a victory point engine going, and that ends my turn. I'm just going to play through 1 round of this so I can show you exactly how this plays out as you move along and how the end of the round works. Each game is really fast. You can play a game in no time at all. Let's see. I can go over and complete that quest in Portobello because I have 2 of those spy glasses. I kind of think I want to do that. I can't take it. Yeah, I will do that. Completing quest will be helpful as well for my career card. I think that's right. Yes, I need to complete those quests. So I'm going to spend 2 cards that have those spy glasses, which is not really what I wanted to do. I would like to have built both of those, actually. The Master Builder would have been helpful for letting me get cards out for cheaper. That's okay. I'd rather right now be able to complete a quest so that I can get those 4 coins right now. And then I'm able to now build that governor card because I have enough money, and that will help me get some victory points going right off the bat. So I'm going to draw cards up. Let's see. I kind of like that shipbuilder, but I don't really want to spend any of my money right now. So I think right now I'm just going to draw blind. And, or should I? That's a tough one. I do think I will take that shipbuilder. It will cost me a coin. That's okay. They're going to move along. Again, remember, they skip those village spots. They're specifically going to the city spaces, which means sometimes their turns, they move to the end of the round very quickly, and there's a bonus point. There's bonus points you can get for reaching the end faster than other players. I am just going to go ahead and go up there and end the round. That doesn't immediately end the round. What that's going to do is it's going to give them 1 more turn, and then I get the bonus points after that. In the first round, the first 3 rounds. The last round's a little bit different. You get an additional 2 turns, but whoever ended it is going to be getting victory points as you're taking your turns. I think I am going to explore. I don't really love just straight up getting 1 point, but I do need to move along that track, so that will benefit me for my career card. All right, and they will also finish up and take that last action. They'll end their turn. I'll move over and take those 3 points right there, ending my turn. And then at the end of the round, you can buy a card or just straight up gain 2 victory points. In this case, I do have a lot of money, and so I think I would like to go ahead and end it. Let's see. I think that governor card would be the one that I'd... Yeah, let's do that. The governor one's going to help me out quite a bit. So a lot of these will. The pioneer one will too, because that will give me some extra coins. I think I just want to go ahead and get a victory point engine going on here a little bit. Plus, this is going to give me one of those synergy tokens that I don't have. Well, I don't have any of those right now, and I don't really know what is going to benefit me. If I'm able to build that sailor, I can get some extra money from having this house, so I think I will go ahead and take that one and then try to get that sailor card build. Then I'm going to draw all my cards back up. Again, I don't really want to spend any money right now, so I'm just going to straight up take that one blind from the pile. Now, you get 8 income naturally without having any kind of income engine for money, but I also got 4 points for that engine that I had going there for my victory point engine. So right now, I gain 8 coins. I already had 2, so I'm starting off with 10. That resets, and then I didn't show those, but at the top of the board, there we go. let me see if I can show those on here. They're taking their turn. Again, their turns are really fast. At the top of the board, there are cards that you can gain that are just straight up victory point cards. They cost $20, which is a lot, but you can get a lot of points that way too. So you want to try to get at least one or two of those as the game goes on, because again, that can be a great way of getting points. So that's it. I think I showed enough of what's going on. Whoops, not your abilities. I was going to show, the career, your synergy tokens. That's showing you all the things that you can get to be able to unlock other bonuses as you go. So you're just going to keep going around like that for 4 rounds, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. Now, again, for the digital version of this, you are going to be playing against the Automa. That can be a negative for some people, or pass and play. That can be a negative for some people. For me, I've really enjoyed it. It's just been some really quick games. I'm really rushing through the campaign quickly. I've quite enjoyed this one, but just know what you're getting into as you're playing this game. So anyway, that's going to do it for this time. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have any questions, just make sure to leave them in the comments. If you'd like to connect with us, you can go to MeepleTownGames.com. You can also connect with us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. That's at MeepleTown Games. You can also reach out to us in the Board Game Geek Guild number 3407. And until next time, thanks for coming down to MeepleTown.
Thanks for joining us, and thanks to our Patreon supporters for making content like this possible. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, go to patreon.com/MeepleTown. To follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, find us at MeepleTown Games. Finally, to connect with us and other residents of MeepleTown, you can join Guild 3407 at BoardGameGeek.com. Until next time, thanks for coming down to MeepleTown.